All right. Welcome back. I had to get the stream off so I can re-log into StreamView after we had to do a power cycle of the server. So we should be live now, hopefully, I think. Yes. Should be good to go. Most likely divided into two parts in terms of the VOD. All good. So where did we leave off here? So we have Costas, who is going to head, I guess, in the direction of House Fortune Favor now. Is what they had decided during break in terms of pursuing their oath. They have a limited time window here. You only have it said noon, right, everybody? Yeah, you only got like an hour. I mean, and by the time you get there, it's only going to be about maybe 30 minutes. So, and the rest of you are heading to the River Docks shipwright. That's where Dia Strum currently works, and they're kind of a city official that runs the shipwright. And you are going to be reaching out to try to get and find Jonathan Yon, who runs a ship, and there's other captains that are there, right, in terms of work to be had. So, and we also have a personal thing we need to attend to with Jonathan as well. So we're going to be headed there. But before we get to that point, we're actually going to be coming to a specific map. Because as you're walking down the sidewalk in the direction of the city, which I'll be playing some ambience here and rain. I don't have you in a particular order here of token work. Very basic map of the lower dock. It's giving some scale of the street and of the sidewalk with these certain lampposts that they have of cobbled sandstone brick extending through. Much of the lower dock is open, not open structures, but larger structures, accommodation of apartment-styled buildings as well as warehouses and company field house that might end up being here. There is some grocers and produce shops and stalls and things pitched with awnings and stabling over top, all of which is sandstone in terms of the construction. Many have circular windows, metal braced rather than wood against the wind and onslaught of weather conditions and things that would come through. What catches your eye immediately at this point of walking is that there are individuals inside of the crowd of the sidewalks that stand out as similar in colorations as well as attire to those that you had encountered at the outpost, particularly of a ale spot that you all drink. Okay? Now, they're kind of... The Drowned Rat. Why not? The Drowned Rat. That's a great name. I should change it to the Drowned Rat.
What was it supposed to be?
The tavern? It's the Spoiled Rat.
The Spoiled Rat.
I like the Drowned Rat, honestly. The Drowned Rat makes a lot more sense. The reason why I have it paused is because as you're walking down the sidewalk and you can see them in the crowd, right? The crowd itself is not that thick. You're in the lower dock here, and a lot of people are working. So there's not a whole lot of people on the streets and the other things, right, as you're making way. And so your eyes are alert, but you don't want to really draw too much attention. And then, Thea, you hear the voice of something familiar down the northern alleyway, which is why we're paused. And the voice simply states, "Little Dragon." And a figure leans off of the side of the building in the nearby alleyway. It's quite large, with barrels in the backdrop and wagons going into a courtyard northern. Currently eating an apple, pull themselves from the alley. And they stare at you.
Hold on, I need to recover from having a heart attack. It's okay.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I'm whipping around.
Okay. Are you telling them that you heard that, or we're just going to continue?
I think my body language screams that Thea is not okay right now.
Okay. Yeah, to see Thea suddenly panic, Joe's just going to be like, confused.
He's just like leaning against a wall eating an apple.
That's correct. He stepped out of the undercovering of the building adjacent to a no-named building in terms of signage postings and such. They're currently eating an apple. In terms of appearance, you are more than welcome to describe. I've chosen artwork, as I stated prior, but it's up to you to describe in terms of what they really look like. They currently, I will give you a little bit of aid. They adorn a piece of nice style leather armor with elvish runes etched in with silver accents. They have a short sword dangling from the front left hip, as well as a dagger that's tucked in a slight bandolier pocket style draped over on the left-hand side. And then they have a crossbow at the back with a bolt case on the right-hand side.
Okay.
It's up to you beyond that in terms of what they look like and face-wise. So I just gave them... I found artwork similar to how your appearance, right? And so you basically stated in your story that they looked strikingly like you in terms of appearance.
Yeah. All right. So, this lovely gentleman up here, just casually munching on an apple.
He's about 6'1" ish. Pretty, like, more well built than like live than an elf would be, and he's half elven, just like Thea. If you look at him long enough, they look almost identical. They both have the blonde hair, the tanned skin, the hazel eyes, little half smirk perpetually on the face. And Thea is shaking right now. Visibly shaking.
Why have we
Sure.
stopped?
Joe is gonna draw his bow, knock an arrow, look around, see the dude stepping between them. Oi!
Nope. If you do that, Thea's going in front of you, shoving you away.
What the hell is going on? Who's this guy? Are you alright?
What do you want?
Munching on the apple. Griffin as well has the hand on the weapon, hasn't drawn it. Just kind of going up the cues of everyone else. They take 10 feet forward. Walking with a slight metal-studded boot in the apple, taking a fresh bite, chewing it down, or wiping the mouth as the hair falls slightly of sweat and grease across the front of their face. They took it back behind the ear. Absolutely nothing. Am I supposed to want something? To see you?
I don't know. I did a pretty big thing. Did you too?
I might have.
Do I believe him for a second?
I think that you have some inclination.
Okay.
What's lying now, boys? You have some
I would have
inclination.
made it a point to do it because Israel was also around the corner, assuming that this person couldn't see them.
Yeah, exactly. So you're kind of, that's what I'm saying. We're kind of in mid stride, and that's when, so this, you can interpret that your character's still moving or they're stopping. It's kind of leaving up to you in terms of your discretion. So from your insight passively, go for it.
I would have just, while this conversation is just happening, it is just fly over this roof.
Okay.
Not high enough to be seen, but fly this way just so I could be on it.
Okay. You're going to go roughly 50 feet into the air to get onto the top of that roof.
Yeah.
That's quite high up.
I'm okay with that.
Did we notice before this encounter the other dudes in black on the street?
Yeah, they're not stealthing. They're not hiding.
Okay, in that case, I'm just gonna kind of stand my guard and eye them warily, make sure they're not gonna rush us or anything.
So passively with your insight, yeah, is what you're recognizing is that they might have done something big in the context of a change, right? The body language that they're presenting to you is not hostile by any means, but also of renowned kind of confidence. So growth of sorts.
Just noticing the spell being cast, I think that Israel's just overthought's gonna ask Felix, is this individual dangerous?
No idea, but Leia doesn't get spooked often. Options, but options.
Okay.
Over the link. Thea, what do you want us to do?
Back off.
Okay.
Felix flying. Back
I'll
off.
fly down to the other end of the alley to be as far. I don't know how far this map goes, but
Yeah.
far enough away where he's within range of me, but I'm not drawing obvious attention to myself.
Okay, that's fine. So this is just a representation of a street right in the lower dock. That's what this map is for, to aid in visual representation of what you're perceiving. Okay, so as you're heading north in this larger alley, because the alleys in the lower dock are quite large in terms of transportation of wagons to and from, most of these buildings will have courtyards with their own wells, and they'll have smaller structures around those courtyards, perhaps even their own kitchens and drinking and things, kind of self-sustaining themselves. And so right here in this courtyard, you have a few deciduous trees. There is a well. There's actually an opening to a cellar dwelling adjacent to the west side building of a grocer. And then there are tables and chairs kind of pitched up here, getting shelter from some of the taller buildings because of the wind. And so card games, other things are happening from individuals perhaps on break, and the smelling and smelting of different things are paramount here. And you're really just kind of flying, getting enough distance to keep your visible range of perception, but also far enough away so that way anything happens, you're there and that kind of thing. So, yeah. Okay.
You're a long way from home. You
Oh,
alone?
I am. Well, no, I'm not alone. I am a long way from home, but I'm not alone. No, I'm not alone by any means. Aren't you going to give me a hug?
So you can stab me in the back. Yeah, that'd be real smart.
Yeah. Why would I stab you? That.
Why wouldn't you?
It's a good point.
So who is it? Who's here with you?
Well, little dragon, I think you know who's here with me. I don't think you've come to terms with that yourself. And I can assure you, there is no ill intent or hard feelings.
So what is this? Just a collection?
Ever since we have joined with the Balts, we came here. It has opened my eye to family, how important it is. It's an invitation. An invitation. Forget about the past and move forward. This family is everything.
What if I said no?
That is what you wish. And I will respect your decision.
But he won't.
Can't say the same for that one. Do my best to convince them.
I'm better at that than you. So
You wish to see them?
not even if that would keep me alive a day longer.
They will be disappointed.
I feel like that sentiment is old news.
You've grown! Used to care very deeply what they thought of you.
Yeah, 5 years of personal freedom will do a lot for you. You should try it.
And do you have a new family now?
No,
What do you have?
I get paid. That's what I have.
Coin might buy you friends, but coin will not give you family. I respect.
You know, for a really long time, I thought I had both. And I realized I had none. So, coin gives me a lot.
Kicks a small rock. Tosses the apple. I'll be around. Be around for a while. You want a way to find each other?
Ooh, do I want a way to find each other? I'm going to switch to Elvish.
Okay.
I wish I could trust you.
He begins to walk over to you. Reaches out with a hand on your shoulder. Speaks back in Elvish. Daintily putting the hand on your shoulder, soft and subtle. Maybe in time, little dragon. But I have to go.
You know
Yes,
where
sir.
I live.
Motions with their head, a nod. You see slight remorse on the face. They begin to pass through. They look towards you four. lowering the head down for a small curtsy. Excuse me? Thank you. Begins to walk across the street, motioning from left to right. As you see the shadowy figures, one of which mounts on their war horse, other two beginning to make way, moving in opposite directions. Sees the figure heads west. Sorry, heads east, I should apologize. East. On the sidewalk, disappearing into the draw of the crowd in the distance.
The hawk, I presume.
The shaking has gotten more violent.
Are you alright?
He didn't do anything to you.
We should keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hand Thea some extra thick Yadier special whiskey.
Oh, pounding that.
You continue to head west on the sidewalk, direction of the shipwright. Classes, we're going to have you tabled here, and we're just going to keep pressing on with them. So we'll come to you after this moment here. Okay.
Probably not gonna work, but before they head out, Ishio's just gonna pull out a Kestrel and have them try to shadow him from above, as long as they can.
Okay. What information are you trying to gain from it?
See if there's like a general area or location they go to. Because, yeah, not a lot of people can get to Thea like that, so it definitely strikes her as odd.
Sounds good.
While it's still flying above, at some point, I would use a message cantrip to message Thea so that it's not over the telepathic link. Like, find me when you want to talk. Then I would just return back to the group.
Okay. So, as we continue to head in the western direction of the lower dock, you're now kind of moving more towards the actual aqueduct, and it forms itself. And the actual shipwright here, the river dock shipwright, is actually built kind of over top of the aqueduct. Okay, they have mechanisms placed at various intervals of wheelhouses here, pumps, and sorts of mills that they use to function in lowering and open an underwater gate that changes the flow of water within the space. There's also drainage for sewers in some of the streets. And they have a sewer system in this city, and that is showcasing to you every so often with these semicircle creneals that extend through in the wrought iron rusted gate where water is kind of spilling through channels of the sandstone that carves through the earth. These channel houses, or wheelhouses, or mill houses, however you want to try to describe them, they're not very large, medium size, a couple rooms, maybe two, and they form in a trio of sorts on one side and then the other side of the larger warehouse structure, with an annexed building that extends towards a cobbled sort of courtyard, fit with trees and other sorts of tables for eating, hanging out, that sort of thing. Kegs, large pitch. There's some wagons pulled through. And the actual elevation in terms of the warehouse compared to the field house warehouse is standing a little bit in terms of its foundation higher up, and then ramparts go up to the warehouse from left to right and then connect also to the mill houses, call them, on flanks. Okay, there are cranes and pulleys and hoists through those large semi-arched openings into the warehouse, standing roughly 20 feet to 25 feet. And those cranes and pulleys are used to actually help and facilitate materials and pulling ship parts through in an assembly-like fashion in the warehouse. The warehouse stands roughly 75 to 80 feet in height and has a very steep A-frame to accommodate larger vertical pieces that are kind of pulling through, and has to have a series of supported wooden beams that are metallic reinforced for some of the massive pulls of those machinery and equipment and just ship parts, right? So the field house that sits on the south side of the building, which forces itself, has a slight kind of porch that connects to the warehouse, wrapping from the left and up to the right, and then most likely has an entrance into the warehouse at the back end of the field house. The field house is a two-story structure, has a cellar underdwelling that can be accessed from the front side, just adjacent to the right of the entry, and there's some benches and other greenery and things that fit out there. Signage posting simply states River Dock Shipwright, the sign of a kind of a boat that has a crack of the bow and kind of tips over, right? And then in addition to that, there's a smaller sign that links by a chain link that states Dias Strum and notes their position as an officer of ships. Okay? So there are windows here into the field house. The door is swinging back and forth with workers coming and going. In this period, there's lunch that's being served by some of the actual wagons and traders that might come through here to provide hot food and stuff to the workers within the shipwright. And the structure itself is significant in size, and so there is over 4 dozen of workers that are actually in the shipwright at any given time. And so there's a great amount of people now within the actual courtyard that you're funneling through in the direction of the field house. Now, as you're looking from left to right, eventually you actually see a Dias Strum that strides out of the door with a knapsack of sorts and a small metallic chest hanging over from their left-hand side. And they're kind of like walking out, speaking to a few people. You notice that inside now, you can see through the door as it swings, there's poster boards and other sorts of charter. It's like a charter board with captains and ships, as well as their destinations and coordinates positioned on charters. And then it's more of an open space before a staircase leads up to offices, right? Things. And the cellar might just be for storage and that sort of thing. So the field house is open, the public kind of building in a way, and freely to come in and go and such. And so Dias Strum immediately locks eyes with all of you as you're pushing through the crowd and walks forward to see and greet you all as you all are making way over here. I'm now also going to create a larger crowd effect, given how many people are in the courtyard. He's holding the knapsack, chest, also covered in some wooden splinters and different materials, right, from their wear and tear of doing their job, since they're still a shipbuilder. They still work in manual labor at times. Oh, well met. Seeing you all again. Here to find a captain?
Out of character. Where did we meet this guy before?
Do you remember meeting? What? The Farwire Company.
I said out of character, dang it.
Yeah, it was out of character. Out of character.
Was this the...
You met Dias Strum. No, so you met Dias Strum when you went to the Farwire Company and saw that it was imploded. You met Dias Strum because they were acting as officer in regulations to one of the companies, and they saw that you were inquiring and looking at the structure, and so they came over and spoke to you.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're looking for a captain. Yeah, do
Oh.
you know if Jonathan Yon is around somewhere?
Oh, Jan. Yes. Oh, yes, over here. Want to make introductions?
Please, yes,
Oh,
thank
all
you.
right. Begins to walk over to a nearby table fit with a few sailor folk that are terms of a variety of species and colorations. None of which are of these people, by the way, are wearing tarps or ponchos or any sort of cloaks. By the way, they're letting the rain really fall down upon them. This is traditional sailing folk in a way, right? You don't kind of thing. Maybe if the weather is crazy, you wear a cloak, but this rain that's falling down is nothing of that sort. So they're currently just sitting around, many of which are drinking ales and things. A few are getting up from the table, refilling their tankards from some of the larger casks that are set outside here of the open courtyard with this deciduous trees and some of the lively shrubbery. These are circular tables with stools and oftentimes back chairs. And you see that there is one particular individual here that is sitting that has a blackish raven colored hair that flows long and waved down from the face. A goatee sits there of sorts and forms into itself of a beard and has a little bit of haphazardness to it. Quick groom. The human has very similar colored eyes in terms of the Captain Kiluyan, and the face structure, I would say, is more agile and less blunt than their father. They do have a slight representation of the Kilut in terms of that. They have black boots that are strapped with metal studs, and those work up nearby the knee. They have trousers, tan leather tucked in, buttoned all the way to the half waist, and then that works itself into a white cloth blouse that sits open and slight damp at the present moment with a leather vest of black that sits over top. They have a rapier at the side, which seems very familiar in terms of their father's rapier style and things. And then they have a navigator's bag that's with them, like a satchel, but that's currently off of them and then is on the ground adjacent to their stool that they're sitting at. CSG Strong immediately kind of comes over. Ah! Jonathan! Oh. Yeah. I might have some work for you. This is the, what do you all call yourselves?
Former crew worked with your father.
Ah, yes. They worked with your father. Yes. Hello, father. Yes. See his drum looks, gets slightly awkward as Jonathan just stands and turns around, holding the clay tankard inside of their hands. They just stare at all of you from left to right. Now noticing they're quite young. They're roughly maybe 19 years of age, if that. And they just kind of stare at you. And they do have a slight petite of the figure in terms wiry. This may be a good term to use in strength. And then there's this awkward silence and pause. Dias between you all. Oh, I hate awkward silences. Yes, my job is done. Yep. Good day. No, yes, Bernard. You see him just working into the crowd, holding the knapsack in the chest in the hands as they begin to walk into the rest of the crowd to who knows who Bernard is.
I'm gonna glance over at Thea and see if she's in any fit state to talk.
Yeah, I'm going to probably physically straighten and try to collect myself. And take the captain's sword wrapped up in my hands and go up to Jonathan.
Stares and looks at you. You worked with my father?
Yeah, I remember you on the ship a few times. He asked me to give this back to your family.
Means he's dead, right?
He saved everyone on that ship by drawing danger away from us.
He's like tear below from the eye. And he died doing what he loved. Looks like he saved people too. Mother would want this back.
I've been keeping it safe for you.
This is a gift from my mom. Long, long ago. I was only a child when my mom gave it to my dad. Thank you.
I just did what any good person would do.
Takes the rapier from you. Begins to look towards it. Begins to strap the scabbard onto the belt. Holding two belts, two scabbards on each side. Taken aback.
Over the-
Go ahead.
I was just say over the link. I'm gonna say to Felix, "Yeah, this is a touchy moment. You're the one with the best way with words. Can we ask him if he wants to sail for us?"
Joe, I think you got it, bud.
Okay. Yeah, Captain Jan was a damn good fella. It was an honor and a privilege to be aboard with him. We have heard good things about your reputation as well, and hopefully, captaining is running well in your veins. We are actually in need of passage, and we would like to hire you.
Yeah, I could use some work.
Excellent, excellent. How soon would you be ready to set sail?
Ship is always ready. Keep it well stocked. Rigging is been checked over 3 times. Don't have a crew. Unless you have coin, I can try to hire some folks to help us out. Looks
All right, that's reasonable.
suppose.
Quick estimate. You think how much would that cost?
Well, wouldn't cost any if you all helped out yourselves.
I mean, I'd be willing. I really don't know nothing about sailing on, manning ships. I mean, I was technically just a passenger last time we were with Captain Jan. Thea here was employed, five years, I think you said.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you need me to lift stuff and haul ropes which way, just make sure you point out which one you actually want me to touch real good so I don't snap anything in half.
Well, my ship is a sloop. It's a class. It's not very large. Towards you, Thea. Suppose you can be my second quartermaster. You can be in charge of telling him what to do, and I'll help out as well. I think we can manage it.
Who would save us the gold?
The ship's called the Trawler.
All right. Full disclosure, we will have letters of passage from the Navy here. We're going to be traveling to the Isle of Helgam.
You have passes through the blockade.
Yes.
Does the Navy know that?
Yes, we already spoke to them. We just need to square away what we're going to be sailing on. So, if you're willing, yeah, we'll write all this down and should be on our way by the end of the day or sooner.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I think we can make it happen. Let's do it. Give me the few hours. Meet with Diastrum, fetch the charter, make my own notes, navigation, and go to the Isle. Seas will be rough this time of year, but we should be able to get across the sea from the bay to the Isle, no problem. I don't think I can take the trawler out to the ocean, so we'll use what we can in terms of the channel to look around south of the Isle and keep to the land.
Rough seas, huh? With a bunch of mostly inexperienced hands on deck. How much do you think would it be to hire out a crew? Just to be on the safe side.
I do also have some experience with seamanship, but we can help. We can go.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well, the sloop is not anything like a brigantine or a galleon. There's not much rigging to be had. Sail-wise, you know, like it begins to discuss and things about the ship and whatnot. The best I'm going to do this out of character, is not use ship jargon, the way Jonathan would state it. We can roleplay that they're using ship jargon at that point. A sloop is not a very large ship at all. A sloop is going to have 2 decks, tops, and an underdwelling for a captain's quarter above the helm. In terms of size, you're looking at a main mast and a couple to supporting masts to help out with. So there's actually only one mast that has major rigging to it. It's going to have a crow's nest and netting that will go up to that crow's nest. It always keeps observation support. In terms of anchor systems and things, you have a capstan, obviously, and internal mechanisms to help with that, the rudder to the helm and that sort of thing. But there isn't actually quarters or rooms on the ship. There is only one hold of the ship, and then one captain's quarters, which is a small bedchamber of sorts. They will have in terms of a small ship, right? If they need to deploy, that could be strapped to the back, or as a life raft of sorts in case something happens. And generally, a sloop is not going to be ocean worthy in terms of weather. So this would be a ship that you could take across the bay and into some seas, but you're not going to actually be able to take this ship into the ocean. And Jonathan is going to describe this too, is that this ship actually was purchased from some fishing folk that go hunting for slight larger sea creatures and would have, mounts for harpoons and netting and things for trawling, which is why it's called the trawler. That's why they gave it that name. And of course, you can't get past the blockade. And so these folks ran out of money. They couldn't pay for porting of the ship very long, and so they sold it off at a good value. Jonathan was able to purchase it from working as a deckhand on various company ships, specifically the Cedric Bay Company and some of the river galleys, and helping out and things. So that stands true. And also, there was payment. And this is what Jonathan will get into as well. There is payment that the house, in terms of the owner and operator of the Farwater Company, provided Martha and their family a life insurance, as you will. So there is insurance coin that some could have taken. That was what they wished. And the Kilion did take that. And so Martha was given that money. and Jonathan used that money as well to purchase the ship. Okay? Not nefarious by any means. There's nothing, evil or intent about, why the family was gifted that money. It was really strictly because of that policy. Captain knew what they were getting into, being across the sea, across the whole year of time. It's treacherous territories, pirates, maybe even frost giants raiding in their longships, that sort of thing, right? Sea creatures. And so they wanted to make sure their family was taken care of in case they died. All right.
A likely story. Turns out this entire adventure is one massive case.
I
of
know you
insurance
all.
fraud.
You all are so sus. You're all so sus.
It's
But-
always insurance fraud.
It's always insurance fraud. I know it.
He was in on it with Damodar the whole time.
That money was not. That money is not. That coin is not given because of the destruction of the Farwater Company. Is because the ship was lost at sea. They deemed it lost at sea because it did not return. So, all right. Anybody have any questions for Jonathan? I went out of character just to shorten the time of that, given our time of session. So I wanted to kind of get through things. No?
Is there anything we should bring?
Jonathan looks towards you. Gonna go back into the roleplay here. Just your own supplies. Food, water, for yourselves. The voyage will take several days. The trawler isn't a fast ship by any means. And once you're on the island, I don't know what it has for supplies. Try to do the best you can, foraging, bring what you can get. There are several water barrels that I keep stashed for weight to ballast the ship, and some grain sacks, as well as flour sacks, but there isn't a full-fledged stove. I have one in the quarters. Smaller, won't feed everybody, so we can do what we can with it. Try to make some more meals. And you're more than welcome, invited to eat in there and get some shelter and even stay below deck. There's plenty of space. I have a few extra hammocks that I can lash up to the hull. Much better for sleeping. Sway looks towards you, Thea, Nistriel, saying that you have experience in ships.
Right? Only other thing that comes to mind, we don't know exactly how long we're gonna be there for. I mean, off the top of my head, I'm expecting maybe a few days, but it is kind of an exploratory mission as well. Not exactly sure what we're gonna run into, so how long would you be willing to wait around, just kind of offshore?
Oh, I'm not going to maroon you to the Isle. There's a few ships that have lost their way, getting outside of the channel as they attempted to leave the bay. Those with passage through the blockade. I don't think any of those crew really made it back. There's no rescue missions for them sent. I'm not going to maroon you there. I can get enough supplies to wait around several days after we land.
Right, sounds reasonable. Well, we'll get all this information over the Navy and go stock up on much fresh meat and produce as we can carry.
That's
I'd
great.
shake his hand. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the work. And this presses their hand against the scabbard.
Did he tell
Oh.
us how much it was going to be?
No, that's what we're gonna get to. So taking a little bit back, holding their head here, and beginning to look. Cost-wise for my service, sounds like it's going to be a week. We can call it supplies and things. Call it around 50 gold.
Yeah, sure. That sounds great. And I'm gonna I'm gonna count out 1,000 gold and give that to him.
Most generous of you. Oh. I'll use some of this for food and supplies as well, in case we don't get enough. Or if you stay at the Isle longer than 3 days. The trawler is docked at Pier 39. That's along the river. And that is close to the Citric Bay house, their warehouse, and their part of the work. I'll see you there in several hours, afternoon, evening.
Yeah, sounds
Going our
good.
way? Okay. Also check with the tide. I think we have good tides, so should be getting out of the river fast into the bay. Thank you. Begins to walk in the direction where Diaz had gone to the field house as well, in terms of looking for him.
You couldn't have called it Bay 94?
Bay 94. Wish.
And just to be clear, he doesn't have a Wookiee companion, does he?
No, does not have a wiki
Oh.
companion.
He's not cool enough to be Han Solo. Okay.
He's
We
not.
don't know that yet.
Yeah.
You think he's gonna be Han Solo?
You know what? If we get him a better ship, maybe like a bugbear.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
In my head canon, I just visualize vampire.
You visualize vampire.
He did have that dark gothic look.
Yeah.
Like vampire.
It's got the teenage brood thing, you know. I think it's great.
It's 11 in the morning. It's broad daylight.
Well, it's not bright. It's rain. It's cloudy conditions.
Raining.
There's wind, yeah. Yeah.
You can still get UV through the clouds.
All right. So the real question we have to ask ourselves, not that we're obviously we're going to tell. You know, it's the trawler, right? That the ship is ever going to take. Are we going to tell? Are we going to go to the Goalie Alliance and tell Tarlin? That's the question.
I think all can just send a message and
Yeah, I don't see a problem with this.
And we didn't. I don't think we actually committed to hiring him. We just got information.
That is correct. Well, no, you did commit to hire them. You were definitely
Really?
commit. You definitely said that you were going to hire them, and they were getting the ship ready and all that. You didn't pay them though. You didn't pay
Okay.
them yet. I mean, it's up to you. You don't have to. I mean, you don't have to tell them if you don't want to. It's entirely up to you. I just thought, you know, in my mind, role playing Tarlin at the docks at the Spillgate, right at the pier, being like, all right, the jolly good, getting out again, right, and do this whole thing and getting the whole ship all set away and ready, and then literally opening like a pocket watch, tapping the foot, staring down the dock, right. All right, waiting for you all to get there, and then like the sun's like going down, you know. Dwarf yells across the way, "Darling, are they really gonna show up?" Still drunk. I don't know. Just like, no.
This is just fucking sad.
Was that it? All right.
Honestly, that's what's probably gonna
forgot.
happen.
I forgot that we told him we were gonna go with him, so I'm gonna turn to the rest of the group. It's like, all right, guys, we did say we were gonna hire the Jolly Goods. Tell you what, you guys want to go talk to the government? I'll go head over there and, you know, I'll give them some gold and some apologies and say, hey, we heard about this general state of disrepair. Maybe this will get you some new decking on there or something. Because they did seem nice.
Nice doesn't make a good sailor.
Well, yeah, that's why I want him to get his ship repaired. And why we're not gonna hire him. So I will meet up with you guys at Pier 39, yeah?
Sure.
All right.
We'll be back fast.
To the goalie alliance. Okay. All right, we're going to switch over to Costas now. Do love a good split party. Dum, dum, dum.
So much work. For half as much time.
All right. So, Costas, you're going to get to the House Fortune in favor. I'm going to try to make this as quick and swift as possible. So that way we're kind of on the way, right, next session. So we're on the way to the Isle. So try to get through this. Try to do the best. I'm not going to put a time limit on you or anything like that. But I'm going to try to be quick as possible about this description of this place, okay? So House Fortune in Favor sits on the crossroads of a courtyard that goes into the bazaar, the sandstone wall that passes into a grand sand area where there's many traders and things. There's also the Kulras compound there, and then the Colosseum, right? It's really high and things. Now, the Primaris actually is really close in terms of the House Fortune in Favor, right? Really across the street in terms of the courtyards and stuff. You could see the Primaris in the courtyard, and the fountain work, and the pull through, and all of that. So there isn't a whole lot of time that's taken from you just simply walking across the way. And there are some statues here in the courtyard, just giving some ambiance, right, to specific deities relevant to the sea. They're really not going to get to the names of those and things, but you can notice that, even though Alathan is a free religion in terms of city, there has been some spillover of Paylor, and then as well as some deities that sailors might call to, and that is something that is a little bit more paramount in terms of decorations and decor throughout the city, okay? So House Fortune in Favor is a 2-story structure. It does have a cellar that can be accessed within a courtyard at the back right of the structure through an alleyway. There is a stabling kind of covered area for horses and such to be kind of stashed through. And then there is storage for wagons and stagecoaches to be kind of just parked alongside of the sidewalk on the west-hand side as the road kind of continues north in the direction of the Nobles District and a park. So as you're coming up to the door, which the door actually sits slightly recessed inwards and recessed and then protruded outwards, you're kind of wrapping around to get into the cubby space, walking up sandstone stairs, and then embracing a thick sandstone metal reinforced door with a circular wrought iron bronze handle. Not wrought iron, but bronze handle, circular. You begin to open that door, seeing the signage posting of House Fortune Favor etched into the sandstone, and then as well as a sign that extends outwards into the courtyard of a scale that is imbalanced and then coins spilling off of the higher-rise scale portion. You pass into here, and immediately you're met with isolation in terms of sound. The windows circular. Many of them have curtains. They're also reinforced with iron bars at times, depending on the rooms that those windows might allude to. And then you're passing into a small chamber here with metallic vault kind of barred doors that lead into smaller spaces with chests as well as racks that showcase weapons and other supplies that have been stashed within. And one of them has a kind of these openings of the slats of the iron, and you can see in there that there's actually chests that are open, spilling with gold. So there's actually visible gold just across the entry, roughly 15 feet away from you. Then there's other racks for backpacks and clothes and coats and things to the left. Smoke, accents of ale and stench just kind of wafts through you. And then the opening towards the north of you extends further into where the drinking hall is, and then heading east is where the quick bets are. There is a corner desk that's positioned with bookshelves and ledgers, and then there are 2 specific enforcers that wear splint armor and have great clubs. They're sitting in chairs, one directly to your left upon entry, and the other one in the back left corner. They immediately stand up and begin to walk over to you. There's
Hello,
someone out.
thousand blessings of Paylor
Okay.
upon you. I'm saying that to the enforcers because they seem to be walking right towards me. May I ask why you seem to have taken an interest in me?
The enforcers say little to nothing, and they begin to pat you down, begin to remove the weaponry from you.
Yeah, I suppose the collection of weapons would probably do it.
They begin to remove the weaponry and the things from you that would be of hostile intent. They begin to open one of these cells and begin to stash your things inside of them. One at the desk stands up. This one at the desk who is working diligently on ledgers and things and notes, but that other servant at the ready begins to motion and make way over to you. This individual is an older human with scars and weathering across the face. They have a hat of sorts that is currently off of their head on the desk. They have a cane with a serpent's-like handle that comes through with a blackish wood. They have an accents of black and green to the vest. A pocket watch of gold leans into the vest pocket. A blouse with golden cufflinks comes through, waviness with this grayish plume of their chest hair, and that fits into tight cloth trousers and tall knit socks and black shoes. They have silvering of gold rings with ruby gems inside of them, and then a goldish pendant with a opal-like gemstone that is there. As they're beginning to move towards you, I'm going to go ahead and drop their artwork here if I can. Sure this is the appropriate one. Right. Okay. Armor and things removed. Crooked with the cane as they begin to walk over to you, limping from left to right slightly. Begin to upraise themselves, standing roughly 6'4" as a human. I haven't seen you before.
Yes, and I hope you won't be seeing me again. I'm here to talk about one of your debtors by the name of Roland.
Ah. Well, I would be the one to speak to then about that. Humble
Okay,
acquaintances and well met to you. Begins to motion the hand as it shakes a little bit. My name is Master Stazogata.
Okay, I reach out and shake the hand.
I'm master of house here at House Fortune and Favor.
Must be quite lucrative, from the appearances at least.
We tend to do quite well here, yes? Why don't we discuss this business in my office? Begin
Gladly.
to walk, moving with the cane as they pass through the double wooden door on that pathway going north, not to the quick bets, going east. And you can see through that door on the east that's open. And you see that there are drop boxes and things, and there are other desks with servants in there. And there's people currently betting on filling up little papers and things, dropping them into this space. And there's a chalkboard of sorts that's positioned with sorts of champions and sponsored gladiators with their specific odds, and how much gold and things and such like that. And it's a very tight space through there with other chambers that link, most likely bathrooms to accommodate those that would come through. And then you go into the dining hall, these long circular tables that are kind of oval shaped. And they have plush cotton chairs of greens and blacks. Kitchen sits circular in the center point with a hearth with a large hog that's spit roasting on. And there's a staircase just to your right hand side. And you notice there's other rooms that are open with curtains draped through, and there's servants and bartenders going into them. You can hear the sounds of dice as well as cards being played within them, the laughing and chuckling of some sex workers as well, even in here, begin to kind of come through as they're holding on the hands of gentlemen passing through to another staircase that is on the opposite side of you to the right. But you're going to the staircase just through the entry to your right. You pass into the upper floor, which is a separated space. This staircase is met with a small chamber, with a trio of enforcers that overlook on a balcony to the dining hall. There's particularly 3 doors here. 3 doors have office numbers and names upon them. You see as the name of Stasal Gadak is written into one of them. The enforcers look towards. Master holds up the hands. They need no help getting up the stairs, as they overlook from the balcony, smoking pipes. It takes roughly 4 minutes for them to go up this staircase. So you watch as they begin to make way up it. One step after another. They then come up to the door, grab a key from their inner vest pocket, begin to unlock the door. Try our hand on the keyhole, and they open the door, and they lead into a quaint office. An L-shaped desk, back left corner, the window, secretive window, shutters that can be opened to look down upon the dining hall. This office is on the north side of that balcony. They have bookshelves, a globe, a few other accents, reddish colorations in gold and blacks. They motion for you to sit down in one of the 2 chairs in front of the L-shaped desk, and they themselves sit down on a chair with a serpent-like crown that becomes figurine on top of their chair. They kind of sit down in that chair and begin to clear certain things off of their desk. And that desk is well upkept. In fact, there's really nothing on it. They're just aligning things as if they have OCD.
Does Divine Sense have any science that I'm using it?
No, actually, there's nothing.
Okay, then I'm using that.
What are you trying to detect from this guy?
He gives strong vampire vibes. Oh wow, yeah, sorry, that wasn't showing me that I was using it, so I clicked it a few times. Sorry, that really
It's fine.
just flooded. Yeah. Okay, yeah, but yeah, he's just giving strong vampire vibes for some reason, so and I figure that might give me a leg up in negotiation if I figure out if there's something wrong with him, so
Okay.
just
As you use your divine sense to sense what is in front of you, it feels as if this is an undead creature.
wait, did you say he is?
I said that they're an undead creature, yes. You see it, sense that they're undead.
I was right!
Nailed it.
Leans the cane against the L-shaped desk, and they stare in the direction of you. Oh wow, Lucas has to do a power walk. Lucas has to do a power walk! He's gotta do a power walk!
Vampire vibes!
Wow.
Okay. David, I see. Okay, I'm sitting down in the chair. Also, I'm going to send a message telling the group that, just telling the group everything that's going on right now, like mentally through the link, and that the leader of House Fortune Favor is undead. So if I don't come back, I've been murdered.
Oh my god. This is
Out
the
loud,
first
I would
commander
say
all
the rest
over
of the
again.
group, nobody respond. Make him think he's alone.
It's the first commander all over again. I need you on the roof. My sniper, okay? Because this vampire's gonna eat my ass. Oh, I can't even.
Okay. Wow. I have to say, I was not expecting that.
Were you saying that in person?
In person, yeah.
You're saying that? I was not expecting that?
Yeah.
What were you not expecting?
Huh. I mean, you know, undead leading House Fortune and Favor is quite...
Is this your first time using your sense of undead creature?
No, it's not. Just, you know. Normally when I use it on random people because of a strange feeling, it's not correct.
Seems that your insight has been fruitful. This encounter. Are we to business, or are you wanting to cut me down?
Oh no. I'm fine. Um, to business, to business.
You have come on behalf of Roland.
Yeah. So, we both know if things continue as is, he is gonna die. And neither of us gain
Oh.
anything out of it.
Assuredly, Roland will die.
Yes, and you will not get your money. And the crowd probably won't even see him. He couldn't kill a sick goblin, so the chances of him making it past the monsters, the weed out the weak, the crowd's not even gonna see him.
What is
You're
it
not
that
getting
you're
any.
offering me?
I'm asking that you give Roland a way out.
Roland has had numerous chances, numerous outs, and they have proven themselves a drunkard and a gambler.
You're right. But he was a drunkard and gambling addict that has come under my eye, so to speak. So I'm asking that you, I don't know, maybe simply sign him out of the Colosseum, and what could you do? Maybe there's debt slavery. Maybe find some way for him to become pay off his debts under, let's say, your supervision. To House Fortune and Favor, or someone else. I mean, preferably nothing too heinous, but better than death.
Roland has nothing to offer us at House Fortune and Favor. I think you have sensed that.
Is it more to offer than he does simply being killed by a monster? I mean, at this point, his death will be completely meaningless. You'll get literally nothing out of it. Even if you were to let him live, as long as you stop him from gambling anymore, you could probably get at least a little bit of his debt back. But if you kill him now, you're getting none of it.
And you are aware of the depth that Roland is. The value of the debt.
I've been told it is 20,000.
Indeed. Indeed, it is 20,000 gold.
Yes, let's be frank. You're not getting any. You're not getting all of it back. But at this point, it's just how much of it can you get back? And killing Roland gets you nothing. Maybe you can get some value out of him at least if he's alive.
It seems that Roland has told you that if they do not pay their debt, they will be killed.
I mean, he's going to the Colosseum. He's gonna die.
Someone with such insight and sense are making yourself a fool. Why do you think that Roland is willing to fight in the Colosseum rather than be put to death by us?
Pride?
It is of what they do not wish to become. My dear boy.
Oh. So you would turn him into something of... Would you turn him into an undead? if you were to
I
kill
would
him.
turn them into something of worth. As you have put it, a slave to their debt.
And he chose death.
It would seem they have chosen life, not death.
Fine. What can you do for him? He's a
The,
fool.
the arrangement was simple. They have declined this arrangement. And they have decided to fight in the Colosseum to win the grand prize, as any fool would. I'm still curious as to what you are trying to offer me. What service can you render for me? What would your heart allow you to do? Smells the
very
air and
much.
sniffs your oak.
I must say, how on earth has any of your actions been sanctioned? Like, I mean, at least the undead part. Like, do people know about it?
What do you mean? Our actions.
Like- From my understanding, you are undead, and quite possibly turning some of the people you kill into undead. Is that do, let's say, the church or the Talthar? Are they aware of this?
One does not have quarrel with the dealings that does not involve them. But what am I offering truly, Roland? What am I offering this city? I'm offering this city the removal of a drunkard, of a gambler. I'm offering them work. Put them into a house, into a home, into a family.
I would send the group a mental message that the leader of House Fortune and Favor is an undead, making the entire city into undead, as he like kills the people that are gamblers. And yeah, if I don't come back, tell the Talthars.
And nobody respond.
David, you could have out of character here. David, come on! You could have worked with me here.
Look, to Costas, or sorry, to Felix, he thinks Costas is just being his usual paranoid self, and thinks it's funny to mess with you at this moment. So
This is
I guess if that's a second message, we'll send a message back to Costas. Like, and what are you intending to do?
fucking betrayal, Israel, dead to me.
because like if you don't say anything, I might not work on it. Fuck. Because I want to converse with the party on this before I do anything. Should I blackmail him with it, or should I just like pretend that I'm not going to do anything, then go straight to the Talthars the moment I walk out of here?
All right. Costas, blackmail doesn't work against people like this. Don't do that.
Yes, blackmail them.
So, pretend I don't know anything, then go to the Talthars and come back with paladins. That's what you're saying?
Mm-mm. It's like he doesn't hear me. It's like he doesn't hear me.
No.
Why are you the Talthar? You're a paladin. Smite his ass.
He's not even really listening to
They took my weapons to the
he's
door.
not even really listening to the master. At all.
What paladin needs a weapon? You got it. You got fists.
Oh, come on. But, like, this is an undead, like, crime syndicate kind of thing. I get the feeling we could take it down and
I'm pretty sure you could smite him and be back by lunch.
Costas, remember how we were telling you not to go digging more trouble up for the rest of us?
Fine. Okay,
We're
I'll
all
pawn it
going
off.
here just having a nice old time hiring boats, and you are trying to make an enemy with... Okay, so he's an undead. Correct me if I'm wrong, this is an established city business that people use all the time. So you were going to commit the crime of murder
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. Like,
in
I'm
a city
kind of
that we have to come back to
like.
against a guy that, as far as we know, hasn't actually done anything wrong or illegal.
Is it
Like-
murder if they're already dead?
Wait, that's chill. But no,
That's
I'm saying like we
how
could get like the
it works.
Talthars on it. They could probably do it for us. But
Yeah, but
Dude, no, no
Costas-
stirring up trouble. Just get the hell out of here.
Out
Okay.
of character now.
Kidnap
Out
the
of
guy,
character
throw
here
him on the
because
boat, let's go.
we're reaching. I'm gonna go ahead and tee up here just for a second because we're getting out of our time is I didn't want to get to this. I didn't want to get to this, but we got to this. You see? Did you see what I did? Did you see what I did? I was like, hey, let's hurry this up. Let's not. But okay, that's fine. See,
sorry.
you know what it is. You know what it is. It's not me. It's you. I tried.
Where's
Okay?
the
I
lie?
tried my best. I tried my best. So this is OC, and the reason why is that stating when I gave the description of the city, as well as what you've probably inferred, is that this city is kind of like a powder keg, right? These companies and things, they thrive on the oceans. This whole city and their trade revolves around the water. And there is a massive Talthar blockade that stops them from doing just that. They added this whole bureaucratic red tape that stops them from doing that. And now you have House Fortune in favor, which is a reprieve for the folk of the city to spend their gold, to make bets, to gamble, to drink, and to watch the Colosseum and watch their prize champions win, and for them to perhaps get out of the gutter with their debt because of all of the stuff of their ships being stashed in port and unused and things. You want to sick the Talthars on them. Okay? So, yeah. Is everyone, if we're all in the same picture? We're all in the same picture? Yeah. I think we're all in the same picture. So, that's OC. Your character does know this. You can figure this out. You're wise enough to figure this out, Costas. But is that going to supersede your oath? And supersede you as a Talthar and of House Morning Light? That is the dilemma you have to face with yourself right now.
I don't think I'm gonna like actively sick. I'm probably gonna have to tell them though. Fuck. It's something I have to tell them. Like,
It's not.
it's really not.
It's not.
Follow your heart.
No, that's what got him into this mess.
Oh, God, no!
Tell the heart to shut up.
Michael, why did you show me Roland? This is like a fucking paladin's dilemma. Like,
Roland
times
always
ten.
at the bar. Roland is always at the bar. He's scripted at the bar. You happen to be at the bar. You're the one interacting with Roland.
Choice made.
Okay, back to the conversation.
Like, you got it. If you come back with the vampire's head, I don't even want to know you.
Hmm.
Fuck, what do I do?
Thea has a stress rash appearing on her arms.
Geez, I did not know Paladins of Palor had no bubbles. That's they're mutants, apparently.
Why do you think Costas was at the fucking tavern drinking the sauce? No, I'm just kidding. I'm giving you shit. Just giving you shit. Not true. Not true. All right. Do we need to table this? Are we going to table this?
No,
Are we?
I can.
Are we? If you
I
can't
can go
roleplay,
back to it.
if you can't roleplay, then we got to table it.
I can go back to it. I can go back to it.
Because I ain't
Shit.
retconning. I ain't retconning. Okay, so we're in the shit. We're in the shit together right now. See?
We're in this shit together. Okay, let's go. Fine. I've done all I can then for Rowan. This seems... Just... What will happen to his dad after he dies?
His debt will slowly be worked off.
Even if he dies in the Colosseum?
Even if he dies in the Colosseum.
They're gonna
In
raise him
one
as
way
undead, dude.
or another. Fighting in the Colosseum. Absolve some debts.
Well. I hope you have a lovely evening.
I'm surprised. You have come all this way. And you give up.
I did all... Roland's already resisted me so much. I tried to help him. He has refused my aid. This was my last attempt to hope you could see reason. I honestly, if you can raise him as undead, that kind of destroys my whole argument for you not being able to get help from him, like get your money out of him after he dies. So, you know.
You have not offered me anything.
It's 20,000 gold. What can I possibly offer you?
Your kind is rich, are they not? You must have some coin.
I do not have 20,000 with me.
Not now, anyway.
How much to get Roland free and clear the Colosseum and clear his debts? You know.
Debt of Roland is 20,000 gold. We can come to some arrangement of payments.
You know as well as I that people sell debts quite often if they cannot collect. I'm offering to buy his debt.
With what?
Well, how much would you take? How much, you know, buying a debt is usually not the total value of the debt. Let's say 5 or 10,000. Something like that.
I have got an idea. Will you listen to it?
What?
A person of your talents would come quite in handy for my current predicament. You do not know what it is I am, or that you sense it. Not who I am. Quick to judge. I suspect your talents would be quite useful. I will offer a bargain. The debt of Roland to be paid off. looks down as they sink and they stare at you. With your service.
What kind of service?
Now we are talking.
You know what kind?
Are you familiar with the continent called Balthus?
I cannot say I am.
There is a place called Ebith, where undead reign. And they fight the Deadborn Kingdom, region of Soloris. Reaches down a drawer, pulls out a small olden book, lays it down on the desk. The long fingernails begins to push it towards it. My kind. I'm not so content with having independency. They are known as the Forsaken, name that was given to them. Creatures of abomination, forsaken to the Shadowville. Placed in eternal life. Do nothing but to suffer. The Forsaken are here now. They are with ill intent. But there are those of us that do not see the same eye. See. I'm one of them. Service I need from you is simple. In 3 weeks' time, there is a ship. Will arrive here. From Balthus, you see. I suspect they are full of Forsaken. But you and I both know we won't know that. Keen to their smell. You can sense them. Amongst other talents. You intercept the ship. And you will kill them. Or they make landfall. For this, Roland's debt will be paid. You agree? I will provide you more intimate detail. For now,
I am
Yes.
quite a businessman, so what I can say is that you've piqued my interest. And that do not yeah. I will try. I'll do it if I can, but I might not even be in LA then at the 3 weeks from now. So you understand what I'm saying? I am.
No, I do not. I have given you what you wish. Bargain to be met.
I'm just saying, don't wipe off his debt until the moment that I have given my payment, if that is the best way of saying it. If you wish, that might be the way of doing it, and then I will see if I can go about doing it or not. But again, I might not be available in 3 weeks.
Stumbling upon your words.
I have a lot of stuff I need to do.
You care about Roland. Then you will
To an
be
extent.
here. For now, they have until after Colosseum is completed and the fightings of Soul. Do not come to me after the competitions on the SAW 14th have been completed. I will take your answer as a no. And your decline will come with consequence. Do you understand?
I understand.
It's good. Pulls out a small pipe from the drawer and begins to pack. Lights it. They begin to blow it out. They look towards you. And of course, you are more than welcome to pay in gold instead. You wish me to walk you out, or can you find your own way?
I can find my own way. But thank you for the offer.
They stand up, using the cane as they stand up, pipe. You're gonna pull it out of their mouth, and they open their hand up for a shake towards you as the hand begins to wobble from left to right.
I shake the hand and leave.
Grab the hand as you do. Notice that the grip is now dramatically tightened. Brushes your hand slightly, showcasing the immaculate strength of this older you. Right back in the mouth. Farewell. Pleasure doing business with you, Paladin.
Wish I could say the same.
Sit back down. Begin to pull some things from the drawers, and you leave. Accompanied by the three on the balcony, they begin to escort you directly to the common space.
As I'm leaving, I am using Divine Sense multiple times to try and sense roughly how many undead are in here.
All of the enforcers are undead. The 5 of which you can sense in this range. The rest of the patrons in there, nothing. Within 60 feet.
All of the enforcers are dead. My god.
Begin to hand you your weapons, giving them to you, and then motioning for themselves to sit back down in their chairs. They're free to leave.
Okay.
Real quick to clarify, just want to make sure we all heard it correctly. He said that Costas has until the 14th.
Yeah, so the Colosseum fight, the Heavens and Saturn, so SAR is the name, right, of the day. The day of the week is SAR, which is Saturday, right, in this calendar. So essentially the next fight in terms of the Colosseum, they do group competitions, they do solo competitions the same day. One in the morning, one in the afternoon. The Colosseum takes the whole day. It has festival type vibes. People come into the city for this. It happens every 2 weeks that they actually have competitions. So it happens very quite often. This next competition is held on the 14th. This
In
is what
5
Roland.
days.
This is what Roland was saying, that they will be fighting it. And so the master basically said, Scott Ogden, if you do not get an answer by the time that the grand champion, right, is awarded title, they will take your answer as a no. And that you are not going to offer coin, and you are not going to offer your service.
And
Okay.
we are not gonna be in town.
I mean, it's in 3 weeks.
I mean,
You're
not
not
gonna
going to
be
be
down
here. You're
then
going to be in
either.
Eastbar in 3 weeks.
Yeah, and it's
man.
more not even being here in 3 weeks. He wants us to intercept the ship. We'd have to go out to open sea.
Yep.
then we're probably still gonna be in Felgum
Yeah.
in 5 days. It's gonna take us a couple days to get out there. Spend maybe a couple days there, a couple days to come back.
So yeah, at this point, I think my best chance of saving Roland is just to sick the Talthars and House Fortune in favor. That's
That's such a bad
Dude.
idea.
I love it. I love these memes on Discord. This is great. Oathbreaker time. He offers 5 games, 20 kills.
We're
Oh
gonna-
boy. Now making deals with undead. I love it. It's Oathbreaker time. Wow, they really want you to become an Oathbreaker. Jeez.
Yeah.
You
That's
know, the thing is that 5k on 20k is actually not that bad for if you can't collect like a debt. Like,
Yeah, but
No,
that
it
wasn't,
is-
that wasn't
that's-
offered to you.
That was, but see, the thing is here, Costas, what you're actually showcasing, maybe you're not really a good business person. You know, this is fine. It's totally in character. I totally believe it. Because what you're basically saying is, hey, I'm going to give you 5,000, then we're going to absolve the entire 20,000. This bitch ain't going to take that. Are you kidding me? They'd rather have
Yeah.
a slave for the rest of the damn life for eternity. Working.
I think Lucas is referring to the idea of like collection agencies will buy
Yes.
debt from somebody and give you cash up front, and that
Yes.
original business could be like, good, I no longer have to worry about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. And that's what I'm saying
Yeah,
is that they don't care about that though,
Yeah.
because they would rather
got-
have.
They've got plenty of time.
We got plenty of time.
They've got forever. There's no
So,
rush.
Lucas, really, your only option here is to give up on the guy, or you empty your pockets, give the vampire whatever cash you have on hand, and then write home to daddy for the rest. Because you're rich as hell.
I'm still thinking we sick the Talthars on them and we just
Dude, no.
destroy the entirety of it.
We
That's
might chase
literally
you out of
gonna
the
make
party if
us
you
an
do that.
enemy to everybody in Alathan. They're
Yeah.
already mad at the
Yeah.
Calvin. We'll never
Destroy
be able to
economy.
come back here.
I mean,
No,
We'll never be able to come back.
That's right, but like Michael said, you got to weigh that against Costas's own personal oath.
Breaking the oath now,
I
baby.
mean, there's
Breaking
nothing.
the oath now, baby.
No,
No, I
Lucas,
think
and
there's-
no, I mean we're not gonna let like us, our characters. If you try to do this, we're gonna
If
do
you
everything
try to
we
do
can.
it, we're gonna stop you.
There's nothing
Wait, hold on,
necessarily
hold
in
on. Are we
Costas'
ready? Hold
oath
on, are we ready?
about undead,
Dun,
so-
dun, 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 dun,
There he
dun,
is,
dun,
just to make everything worse.
Sell is here. No. Okay. So I just want to say that your oath is to redemption. You're trying your best. You're doing your thing, but you can't make deals with undead and these things, right? But the deal here that has been portrayed actually is a good thing. They're
Yeah, like, it's
basically
not-
stating stopping these ill intent creatures from making landfall and causing more havoc. And so this person, not trusting you per se, but just saying, hey, you know what, you have abilities and power and things. If you really do care about Roland, then you can offer me something of value that goes beyond gold, goes beyond coin, right? That's what they look at this. And so they give you a bargain, they give you an offer. It's up to you to decide what you wish to do with that. And regardless of what you decide, it's not going to break your oath. You're an oath of redemption. What is going to break your oath, though, is if Roland gets destroyed and killed. And yeah, that's we might have some problems there. We'll come to that. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Okay, what if instead of sticking the Talthars on the House Fortune Favor, I stick them on the ship that's coming
Oh
too?
my god.
Where did you get this information?
Yeah, where did
just
you get this
appeared to me
information?
out of
How do you
nowhere.
know?
Well, they said the entire continent is led by undead, so it's not too
Nope.
crazy to think. I got
Nope.
like
That's not what they said.
How do you know that that ship is coming? You had to have some kind of information that told you that.
I mean, again, I could pull the "I'm a noble, don't fucking question it." I got
They're
like,
nobles
How'd that
too.
work for you in the Salty Breath?
Yeah, had that work for you.
yeah.
I'm a
Like-
paladin.
Just like, let's just say I heard some undead are coming on a ship. Could you handle it?
Are we still on stream?
We are still in
Yeah.
stream. We're going to go off stream here in just a second. I will calculate experience points for you all here. We're going to go ahead and have to side table. Maybe we just shortcut the whole goalie alliance too at the beginning of the session. We don't. Although I do like role playing Tarla. Don't get to do it very often. So, but yeah, we'll side table that, or just fast track, I should say. Sorry. Let me calculate experience points for you all. I know we're getting late here, so we look at some things and give me a second.
Ah, 4,000 XP, right?
I
Please,
mean,
please,
we,
please.
I did literally discover a like ring of undead on a hunch. So
I nearly had a heart attack on stream. Does
Did not
that get me anything?
Oh,
Nice.
Dalekis Bruga. That's like
Dalek is Fruga.
it's like 3,000 experience automatically.
yeah,
Joe
Gruga's
almost
just like a
stole a
secret
bathtub.
achievement, and
Oh boy.
Yeah, I failed to steal a bathtub, and I discovered the joy of silken bathrobes.
Mhm.
That's enough for a level up, yeah.
I did consider having Costas go this entire session just running around in a silk bathrobe.
Why? He would never do that in public. That would be great shame upon his family.
I know, but I thought it'd be hilarious. So-
All right, so 815, 815
Yes,
experience
sounds
each, put you
like
at
consider.
81,880 experience total.
If we want to just skip over the whole Joe apologizing thing, how much would the voyage have cost to take the Jolly Good?
It was 100 gold pieces, was what you all said you would. Well, it's what they actually said, and you all agreed to that 100 gold for the voyage.
Okay, I'm just gonna subtract that out of my inventory then, and say
Oh.
that I gave it to them.
Okay, yeah. We'll probably just we'll probably fast that. We'll quicken that one so we can kind of get going. That
Okay.
way, because it's not really. I mean, as much as I like to roleplay Tarlin, it's really going to be more of like being like, "Oh, you sure you don't want to be on the Jolly Good?" Right. I mean, there's not really much else to that, and just accepting their fate, and then you all deciding to take the other ship. So, yeah. It's no problem. All right. If you're watching this stream, thanks so much. We really appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and close off now, and I'm going to type my notes as I always do, especially for cities and splitting. Make sure I get my ducks in a row. Hopefully you join us next week, Saturdays at 4 p.m. PDT for the Wayward ones, and we can see if Costas will maybe, I don't know, walk into a werewolf nest next. We'll see. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Wayward ones.
Honestly, Casa.